Saturday night is Big Fight Night, live on ITV. Frank Warren and Sports Network, in association with our sponsors, Empress Cars, proudly present a contest of 12 3-minute rounds to decide the WBO Featherweight Championship of the world. Introducing the boxers in the blue corner, wearing the green trunks, fighting from Croydon, South London. His professional record of 40 contests reads 36 wins, 19 wins by way of KO and 4 losses. At yesterday's weigh-in, he scaled 8 stone, 13 3/4 pound. He is the current featherweight champion of Great Britain, a former 3 times champion of the world. The challenger for the title, the little man, Duke McKenzie. And in the red corner, wearing the red trunks with white trim, fighting from his native city of Cardiff, a professional record from 28 contests, 18 wins, 9 by way of KO, 9 losses and 1 draw. He comes to the ring weighing 8 stone, 13.5 pound, making his 5th defence of the title this evening, the WBO Featherweight Champion of the World, Steve Robinson. Ladies and gentlemen, the WBO Featherweight Championship of the World.
It's a very big night here in Cardiff, and we have the best commentary team standing by. The former world champion Jim Watt, and first of all, let's say a very good evening to Reggie. Reg Guttridge.
Well, you're quite right, Jim. I mean, you could cut the atmosphere with a knife here. This is a legitimate, good, classic fight, really, because both are skilled, both are strong, and both a couple of good guys, family men, and, you know, there haven't been no vitriol before the fight, none of that old nonsense that we've been putting up with. And in a way, you're going to feel sorry for the loser here. Certainly, Robinson has really got the Welsh crowd now. He's won them over with the... He's been the underdog, actually, in a few fights, and he's come to the front. He's a kind of boxing Cinderella man. And then you've got the potential record breaker in this man, Duke McKenzie. So, nicknamed the little man, hoping to become the big man. And Steve Robinson, well, determined now to hang on to that championship that he won as a 48-hour substitute. Came in, defeated John Davison, and this is the sort of the old-fashioned rags to riches, or near poverty to plenty for him. And referee Roy Francis, former amateur international as well. And here we go, scheduled of course for 12 rounds, the 9 stone division. I want to talk about Robinson's natural strength. On the other hand, he's also a good boxer. Not a rough and tumble fighter, really. Just tends to wear opposition down, as he has proved. Suffered his share of losses too early on in his career, Robinson. Some of those, I think I said before when he's fighting, have been very dubious decisions. But he's done it the hard way, paid all the dues. Little McKenzie, well, we've watched him right from the flyweight days and before that as an amateur. Always a good, correct boxer. Good, sharp brain. But we're wondering now, moving up from fly, that's 8 stone, to feather 9 stone, whether he carries the power with it. And at 31, whether he still has that fighting edge. He says he has, and who are we to disbelieve? He's had 2 good wins in non-title fights, getting ready for this one. And remember, the reigning British champion.
Well, McKenzie really has to look to get himself in front at the halfway stage here. He can't possibly be behind in points then when the strength comes into the fight. But the problem he's going to find with Robinson, everything Robinson does is from a real solid base. So he doesn't do anything silly, anything erratic. He's very controlled, and that chin's always nice and low, and the hand's nice and high.
Strong, square-shouldered fighter. Or boxer, really, Steve Robinson, as though he's still got the coat hanger on his shoulders there, the way it's built. They're going to play chess match for a round or two, Jim, I suspect, trying to see what the other man's got now. They both studied each other, of course, on videos. And McKenzie, in particular, is very good at analysing his opposition.
I think McKenzie would have liked a slightly better start than his Reg. He's been pinned a couple of times with counters. And he's finding Robinson a bit more difficult to hit, probably than he imagined. That was a low punch from McKenzie.
Timeout. Well, that'll go against him a bit, obviously, from the judge's point of view, as we do happen to go to 12.
Inside, McKenzie already is beginning to grab hold. He doesn't want to do anything inside. He obviously feels Robinson the stronger.
I think they're both glad to get that round over, Jim, actually. There was so much tension, and the crowd loving it after only one round. They're great fight supporters to Welsh, they really are. And this fellow's won their hearts over, Robinson, no doubt about it. And there's the corner man there, Ronnie Rush, an ex-boxer or something. And also Di Gardner, who's handled champions before. We had a real novelty, actually, at the weigh-in ceremony, and for what it's worth, McKenzie was a quarter of a pound heavier. That was last night, actually, and it was in an industrial area in Gwent, in the Gwent Valley, when the sponsors, the Empress Cars, they had an amphitheatre staged and dressing room specially built. Looks like a little Las Vegas, very original. And the Welsh Guard trumpeters sounded the fanfare. It's a low punch coming in. Bingo,
yeah,
yes.
Well, it was well,
oh, yes.
No complaints with that, yeah.
Yeah, that could interfere with the wedding tackle. Round two. And a good enough start, isn't it, for a championship fight, this one. As I said, they're both cagey boxers, they're both beautifully fit.
McKenzie just has a little tendency to grab hold as soon as they're up close, Reg. As though he knows he can't open up when he's up close to Robinson. He wants to do everything at long range. And again, he's pinned with a long right hand of Robinson.
Yeah, there it is there, look, clutching, as you said, Jim. The reason for that is he wants to smother him in close, and he doesn't want to allow Robinson to work inside. Yeah,
but in the first round, I don't think he was as effective as he would have liked to have been at long range. He's finding it difficult to get through that tight defence of Robinson. And when they're up close, he's really doing nothing.
It's very difficult to step up weights as he has done, although he's proved it by being a world champion at 3 separate weights.
But the further up you step, Reg, obviously the more difficult it is. And I wonder what I mean, Steve Robinson, 9 stone at the weigh-in, but that's not his natural weight. His natural weight is far heavier than that, and he'll have gone back up. The weigh-in being last night obviously suits the champion as well. He'll have put all those added pounds back on again. See, again, McKenzie grabbing as soon as they're up close.
Comes with a wealth of experience, 40 fights, remember, the Duke. It looks untidy, but McKenzie's hoping that's going to be effective enough to prevent him being bustled inside, which Robinson's very good at.
And McKenzie letting some punches go now, but just a little bit erratic, a little bit wild.
A minute to go in this round, and Robinson was more accurate there, Jim, wasn't he?
Yep, I think McKenzie already is finding some problems. His boxing not as smooth as he would have liked. He can't trade up close, and his jab's not really winning anything yet.
There's a lot riding on this for both boxers, and particularly McKenzie, who Jim Rosenthal quite rightly said is probably his last fling. But as he says, he's saying he's getting £40,000 for this challenge, which is more than he earns sometimes for a title defence. And he's looking for a bit of glory. All the fighters like that, you know. They like their bit of glory, a bit of respect. As we come up to the end of the second. Third round. Jim, I tell you what, they keep saying they don't claim to be the hardest hitters in the game, but these fellas are hitting correctly. They can hurt.
Yeah, but if the timing's good and the punch is delivered properly, yep, the power will come. But I just feel that McKenzie would have liked to have made a bigger impression on the champion in the first couple of rounds. You have to look for him to make his successes early. Like again, Robinson so controlled, just marching forward, nice and tight. And that lead right hand is catching McKenzie.
What a difference it makes, Jim, winning a world championship. The man who virtually came from nowhere, Robinson.
See, I don't think Robinson really has learned any new tricks. He'd learned the business before he won the title, but he's just doing what he always did with so much more confidence, so much more experience, so much more belief in himself. And it's really working a treat for him. But he's so controlled, no mistakes.
That was a bit of a low punch, but he ignored that, McKenzie. Those rousing chances, I'm sure you can hear Steve-O. Apart from these sort of close-up kind of scuffles, Jim, there's some good boxing going on.
Yeah, the rounds are fairly close. But you always get the feeling that Robinson's strength is the most noticeable thing so far. McKenzie he's too happy to cling on inside, doesn't want to trade. I think he's realised already who the stronger is.
Referee Francis keeps giving a little nag there to McKenzie to break what he's told there and step back. Controls the fight well, Roy Francis, very experienced. And of course done it himself.
See, it's a long way from flyweight up to featherweight, especially a big strong featherweight, and I think McKenzie's finding that a problem already.
Yeah, they weigh in virtually the same, Jim, you know, just a quarter of a pound difference, but as you say, one is what's a genuine featherweight who could well have put on 2 or 3 pounds since the weigh-in. Oh, what a shot there. A left hook by McKenzie and countered. Almost bolted out of the corner there for the 4th round. Shoved out, I think, by his cornermen Colin Smith and Carly Carew. Probably saying, come on, you've got to take the fight to him. Let's have a look at Barry's unofficial scorecard there. Yeah, I think I'd go along with that, just about right. Full-point scoring, WBO, remember. Half-point in British boxing. Robinson doesn't get phased at all, Jim, does he? He's so settled in everything he does.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everything is for him a good, solid, tight base. Doesn't do anything silly, just marches forward. He's patient, He's determined and he's good. He uses his assets to the full. The action's just a little bit scrappy at the moment. I think McKenzie trying to just be a little bit cagey. He doesn't want to get involved too much.
He's nagged at him a bit there, Francis.
Well, he's tending to cling on a little bit at times. A couple of his punches are straight low. But the big problem for McKenzie is that he hasn't really made an impression. This is better now. He has to put some snap into the punches. McKenzie's spoiling a little bit here. Up close, he's pushing his head forward. He's not butting, but he's putting his head down and pushing Robinson back. Just spoiling. See there again, holding and grabbing inside. McKenzie just spoiling a little bit. He's going to have to produce some more clean boxing here.
Oh, it's developing now to, you know, a battle of stamina and aggression it's going to be. WBO judges really have been instructed up now recently to point more for aggression. The old milling on the retreat is more or less going out as good scoring in boxing. I might tend to disagree with that a bit, but that's the way it is.
Nice little body shot there from Robinson. Just stop McKenzie in his tracks. He's just becoming a little bit untidy, and it's mainly that's mainly McKenzie's fault.
Well, here's Gary Newbon trying to get a word in with Barry McGuigan at ringside.
Who do you give that one to?
Funny enough, I give that one to McKenzie. I thought there would be a power struggle in the first half dozen rounds, and McKenzie's fighting very well. He's grabbing when he gets up close. He's boxing well from the outside.
But Robinson looks so strong. I mean, as Jim said, a big move up from flyweight up to featherweight.
Well, that's the obvious point. McKenzie's punching as hard as Robinson at this stage. But every time Robinson lands a solid shot, you can see McKenzie dip and shudder right to his boots. So I think Robinson's power is going to eventually take over here.
McKenzie is holding on a lot. Do you see that as the wrong tactics or the right tactics?
Well, funny enough, he was doing that in the first two rounds. In the last round, he was prepared to mix up body punches. But he's grabbing, that's what he's got to do. And he's got to stay on the outside, just through 1 or 2, 3 punches and keep on his bike.
Fifth round. I think the contest, Jim, is going more or less the way we thought it would at the start like this, isn't it? Sharp boxing, a little bit of sort of crafty smothering by McKenzie, and work rate and strength from the champion Robinson.
Yeah, we've got two real cagey pros in there, especially McKenzie, but I really feel McKenzie would have liked a better start than this. I think he maybe felt he would be landing the jab and getting back out of trouble without taking anything in reply for the first couple of rounds. But he's finding it difficult to get through Robinson's defences. This is better now. He's a bit more mobile on his feet, McKenzie. This is what I expected in the first couple of rounds.
Tying up process, you know, the old-time boxers were into that all the time, and crowds accepted it more those days, a sort of hit and hold. Tend to go out of the game a bit for the more modern crash bash, but this is far from that. It's good to see two genuine ones in there. I go back to the days of Howard Winston and Terry Spinks when they fought at this weight. Lots of shouts from the McKenzie family here. Dudley and Clinton, the former champion, they're really trying to, a small contingent there, trying to keep up with the Welsh. McKenzie's the only one that refs warning though, isn't it?
Yeah, well, he's the one who's holding up close. I think Robinson wants to punch, but he's got his jab. He's finding the range a little bit better with the jab. But he needs to find himself more. A good left hook from McKenzie. But he's got to use his feet a bit more. He doesn't want to stand and trade with this guy. You know, there's a long time to go in this fight.
He's fighting southpaw, Jim, there.
It's far too early for McKenzie to stand and trade, I would say.
He's got a good variety of punches, McKenzie. When he's at his best, he's a delight to watch.
The only thing, and with the holding he's doing inside, might take some of the steam out of Robinson. Just nullifying his work. Looks a little bit untidy at times.
Sixth round now of this WBO version of the World Featherweight Championship, 9 stone. Over the years, it's been a great division, actually, of world champions, actually. Owen Moran from Birmingham, the peerless Jim Driscoll. And in fact, my old grandfather happened to second both of those. Howard Winston, Barry McGuigan, Paul Hodgkinson.
McKenzie trying to use the ring a little bit more. This is what you have to do. I know Robinson doesn't make many mistakes, but you have to try and force him, draw some leads, make him miss and then come back with counters. But McKenzie has been trading too much for my liking against a stronger man.
Maybe the Duke would dispute, Jim, that we think he's not as strong. Certainly some of the opposition he met as bantam and super bantam were class opposition.
Yeah, but you have to remember, Reg, we're up now at the featherweights, and it's a big featherweight he's facing tonight, a man who's trained down to featherweight.
He's only had 4 fights as a featherweight, actually.
Nice buster punches. He took a good one back from Robinson, but handled it well. But McKenzie's always first to put the arms around Robinson and clinch.
Good stuff though, Jim, isn't it?
Robinson looking to sink some body shots in whenever he gets the chance. McKenzie's beginning to throw punches in 2s and 3s, which is better. Single punches are no good. Robinson was coming right through those, but he's beginning to put 2 and 3 together. That's better.
Yeah, those little salvos are good, but as the crowd rise to that now, they know Robinson's fighting back. Now that's what he wants, drawing McKenzie into a scrap.
McKenzie's not able to land his punches and get back out of trouble quick enough. He doesn't want to stand there trading. A little bit of spike coming in there, I think.
Do you think he might warrant taking a point away at some time, Jim?
Well, he's had a couple of warnings, but I mean, it hasn't been blatant. See there again, Robinson. The last word in the exchange, his strength now. He's trying to raise the pace now.
Yeah, that's a little scare of mutual respect plus contempt, I suspect, there. And they're coming up with the second half of the fight now, and this fella just looks like he might be getting to a slightly higher gear. And the gentleman outside there is getting splashed with the water bottles. He's actually the World's Boxing Board inspector. Make sure that nobody tucks a horseshoe in by mistake or uses coagulants that they mustn't use. Have a look at it, Jim. It's all Robinson, I think, here.
Yeah, well, see, he had the last word again. McKenzie let some nice punches, nice bursts of punches go early on in the round, but when it really comes down to the nitty-gritty, he again is first to back up. And the longer we go here, the more Robinson's strength, you would imagine, is going to take over. That's how it's looking at the moment.
coming out for the 7th, and referee France has just walked over there to McKenzie's corner, and here's the scorecard again. He's only got him a round in front, Robinson, Jim. Barry, how have you got it?
Yeah, maybe just a little bit further than that. But I think the main thing is all the rounds have been fairly closely contested, but the main thing is that the whole feel you get looking at the fight. Robinson looks the far stronger, his work has the more authority. But when McKenzie stands off and lets punches go, 3s and 4s, then he has a chance maybe of getting himself in front, but he's getting involved too often. We haven't really seen Robinson maintain a real drive for any length of time. He still seems to be concentrating and pacing himself.
Well, Jim, he did it in previous fights. He caught up with Paul Hodgkin, who at one time was reckoned the best pound-for-pound fighter in the country. Caught up with him in the last round. He's got some patience. Remember that McKenzie has had 9 World Championship fights, fought 8 World Champions. Now, can he use that experience, or maybe those battles could have caught up with him, but who knows? This is what the second half's all about.
Well, there's a bit of daylight between the two since the beginning of this round, and that is what McKenzie needs. He needs room to work. He doesn't want to be too close to Robinson. He wants a little bit of room to work, get his long punches off. Robinson not too effective this round. Certainly not a big round, Reg, for the champion here. He hasn't really put McKenzie under a lot of pressure. A little bit of spite again, a little wrestling match there.
He's coping with it well, the referee, Jim. This is where you can test a referee. Easy fights, they always look good in easy fights, don't they? But this, he wants to make sure this one doesn't get out of hand.
Well, I think Robinson must feel he's going to have to salvage something in this round. It hasn't been effective at all. It's time to move up a gear. He's given McKenzie too much room in this round.
Oh, look at that, the piston-like punches from both of them there. Little short shots, look at that. Oh, and the crowd on their feet there, they love that round, and it was a good round. And here's Gary with Duke McKenzie's brother, former champion Clint McKenzie.
Clint, it's a tremendous performance by your brother, but has he got it right? Shouldn't he be standing off a bit more?
No, he's boxing great. If anything, he's trying to stand and fight a bit too much. But it's a perfect fight, you know, a boxer versus a fighter, classic.
Robinson's very, very strong. Is your brother going to be able to maintain this pace?
Well, I hope he can. When I'm shouting at him to try and walk it out a bit more instead of bouncing around so much.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean is, instead of bouncing around, use the ring, walk instead of bouncing, yeah? Duke knows how to do it. He's done it many a time. He's got to remember that Robinson's putting the pressure on, and he's got to slow him down a little bit. So the more boxing and walking he can do, the better it is for him.
It's a good fight.
Oh, it's a classic. It really is.
Into the 8th then. Certainly the McKenzie family out of Croydon, good amateur boxers they've all been as well. Really getting sore throats, I suspect, and I don't know whether their voices will last 12 rounds. But Clinton put his finger on the button all right there, didn't he? He's quite right.
I thought McKenzie improved a little bit in the 7th. He was finding more room. Robinson was pawing and reaching a little bit with his punches. He wasn't stepping right and up with the punches.
They were calling out the corner there, steal it, Duke, meaning try and just pick your punches, a bit like a pickpocket, you know.
That's what you want to do, Reg, and that's what he's doing in this round as well. Robinson's giving him far too much room here. He's allowing him to stand off, pick his shots, and that is what McKenzie is very, very good at. the last round makes me wonder just how strong Robinson still is at featherweight, because he certainly dropped down a gear. He did very little in the 7.
Well, the camp always claims he doesn't have any problem. He's a very diligent trainer, but well, he is quite a well-built featherweight, I must say. Oh, he's picking his punches well. He is boxing the waters a bit, McKenzie. They caught their heads there a bit accidentally, and he just sort of told both of them, "We don't need it. It's such a good contest." It wasn't a deliberate cut. They just ran into each other. Luckily, neither of them were cut.
Well, McKenzie still clinches up close, but he's been more effective at long range this round than the last. Robinson, I think, really is going to have to raise the pace and put him under the same pressure he was under earlier.
Well, he said before the fight, McKenzie's got to dig deep in the trenches in this one, and that's what he's having to do.
He's developing into a real good little battle now.
Pity it's got these little touches of being a bit untidy there, because it would have been a classic but for that. But that's the tactics. I can't say I blame either of them for stealing a little bit of a breather. They're not getting many.
So you don't mind so much if McKenzie grabs
Time
up
off.
close. It's a point maybe, Reg.
1 point warning. I feared early on that might happen, you know, Jim, and he's been fairly lenient, Roy Francis.
Yeah, well, he's been warned often enough, Reg. It's a pity because he was just probably enjoying his best spell of the fight so far. This is what he has to do. Let some shots go, but get back out of trouble. See, up close, he always has to grab Robinson. He doesn't have the strength to match him.
Very hard now for McKenzie to try and steal even a drawn round once they've taken the point away, and he hasn't done. Well, the holding tactics didn't come up there for McKenzie, and you can't argue with the referee. That's the rules, and he was fairly tolerant, and lots of little warnings that you may not have spotted. Here's the incident now, Jim.
Well, he has to survive up close, but I mean, you don't want to do this. You know, really untied, just grab and hold, hanging. Look at this. I mean, it's more like a wrestling match here than a boxing match.
Yeah, the referee wanted to tidy it up anyway. That's quite right. I've seen a lot worse, by the way, Jim. Guys getting away with it, haven't you?
It's just so many warnings, Reg. He's really been doing it from the first bit,
Yeah.
tying the champion up close.
Round 9. Certainly been fluctuating though the whole way through this, isn't it?
Yeah, it's two real good pros we have in here. Then it's just a pity for McKenzie. For me, he was producing his best boxing. He was finding some space, getting the long punches off, and then maybe getting into the clinch. Oh, lovely punch! Oh, lovely boxing at the start of this round again from the challenger.
And the assumption it's going to go 12. Don't forget we've got Dave Paris of London, Jose Rivera, Puerto Rico, Robert Watson from Michigan as the judges. Referee doesn't vote. And he's got Robinson 2 rounds up now. Jim Barry's unofficial.
I don't think we're seeing the same intensity from Robinson that we've seen in the past. Maybe it's still to come. We know he's a strong finisher. But I think now is the time to put the pedal down.
I thought he had at one point, but he slackened up a bit.
He didn't maintain it, that's right. And McKenzie, lovely
he's getting
box.
right through his guard there, McKenzie, and he's had to force him out there and shove into him there, Robinson. He was taking some good shots. So the hooks come uppercuts, Jim, weren't they?
Yep, and he's putting a bit more authority into his punching now, McKenzie. In the first couple of rounds, he was toying with the jab, trying to steal rounds, but now he's putting some snap into his punches. And his legs are still looking fairly strong. See, this is what you'd expect. A lot of movement around the ring, drawing punches from Robinson and then pinning him on counters. the main thing is he's got a lot more room in the last couple of rounds. He's room now to get his punches off.
A minute to go in the 9th. He's breaking ground a bit more, Robinson, Jim, than he has been, isn't he? Just stepped back a couple of times there.
Yeah, well, as I say, it's not the intensity that we usually expect from Robinson. I mean, if he still has the strength left to produce that, then it's still to come, still a long way to go. But I feel he should be putting McKenzie under more pressure than he has the last couple of rounds.
Oh. Well, what do you know about that? That's unbelievable there. That looked a clean punch from there. He had his back to me there.
For me, it was a good body shot, Reg, yeah. And he's taken the win
incredible
totally
turnaround, and he's counted him out in the 9th round, and they will go crazy with that one. Well, little McKenzie there, he was boxing quite well at that stage, and then bingo, one hit for a man who doesn't profess to be the hardest puncher of all, but he's accurate, and he just knocked all the steam out of McKenzie. He has been knocked out before, but that was when he was really dragging to do the weight in the 1st round. But the way that fight was going, Jim, you could bet, well, the biggest odds of all that wouldn't end in a knockout at that stage, particularly with a body punch.
In a couple of earlier rounds, Robinson was looking for the body, and it seemed to be having an impact. Once or twice, McKenzie actually turned and looked at the referee when body shots landed, as though they were troubling him. But there was never any sign that was going to happen.
Here it comes in replay.
It was bang on the ribs, but there's no muscle around there, so nothing to firm up, nothing to take the power of the shot. Ooh. Bang, anyway, I mean, that was a beauty.
Knocks the wind out of you, that one, Jim, I assume, does it?
Right onto the rib cage, as I say, which you can't tense up. The stomach, you can take punches all night long, but round at the side, the short rib there, bang, a lovely punch.
There
it goes, and it just knocked the wind completely out of Duke McKenzie.
Well, where does this fellow Robinson go from here now? He's got to start taking on some other big boys now. The WBC champion Kevin Kelly, the BA champion Eloy Rojas, the Venezuela, and the American Tom Johnson of the IBF, because he's ready for them.
It's strange, Red, that as you say, there were no signs of a one-punch finish in this fight, and that's what we got, a one-punch finish.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 2 minutes, 50 seconds of round 9, Duke McKenzie, having failed to beat the count, the winner on a count out and still undefeated WBO featherweight